Yo, what's going on guys, HyperX here, welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and in this one I want to talk about the Charge Blade. Of course, the demo has now dropped, giving us a chance to test out a bunch of weapons. And if you've caught some of our other videos, I did of course mention that not every single weapon has got all of the new silkbind moves. In fact, none of them have all the new moves. Some of them only have a selection of them. It is a little bit sad because of course it would be nice to at least have tested the two they showed off in the preview videos. However, it seems for most weapons you just get access to one. And in the case of the Charge Blade, that is ready stance. It means we don't get to test the file follow-up firing pin one, which of course allows you to leave detonations on the monsters. We do just get to mess around with ready stance, but this is actually an incredibly cool move. I've been sort of testing it out a lot more so, really getting a feel for what it can do, and despite the fact that in the preview video it didn't look very exciting, now in action it is actually a welcome addition. So in this video I want to quickly talk a little bit about my time with Charge Blade. This is not going to be a super in-depth breakdown because of course there is still plenty of stuff to test. I want to wait till the full game comes out so I can test all the other switch skills, and also from a balancing point of view they have said this is still the demo, so when it comes to damage values I'm not necessarily going to comment too much because they said this stuff is still subject to change. Anyway, if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Let me know down below what weapons you guys are running in the demo. Let me know if you have found anything interesting or if you're having fun with anything, and of course do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more Sunbreak. So, to begin with, again, you go into the tent and you have the ability to configure your red and blue swap scrolls. Largely speaking, these are all moves we are familiar with. Some of them have sort of been buffed, so some moves that you may have previously slept on may actually be viable this time around. But again, on that front, I want to wait till the full game so I can actually test them in the training room to really know what is useful this time around. But it is nice to know they are at least sort of addressing that because it'll be nice to see some of the lesser moves used again. However, ready stance, let's talk about this. The official description for this says a silkbind maneuver that binds sword and axe together with iron silk. After guarding, a heavy knockback leaves you in sword mode, but lower guard reaction to chain sword slash axe attacks. And the wire bug gauge recovery speed for this is fast, and it is fast. It is like super quick. You can use this one a lot, and that is of course how it's designed to be. It is definitely designed to be almost like a cancel. For the controls, it of course says you perform this by holding down left trigger and pressing A, and then when guarding or after minor knockbacks, you can use A for the axe elemental discharge. You can use X for the sword, the sort of return stroke, which is that upward stroke, and you can use RT for the morph slash, and then of course from there you have a variety of options. So basically it is another sort of a position in which you can then go to a variety of different attack stances. However, what is most exciting in this instance specifically is the interaction between Condensed Spinning Slash and ready stance. Condensed Spinning Slash, of course, was the sort of pizza cutter style chainsaw blade move from Rise. Really, really cool. Basically, during the file storing animation, you can then hold down X to pull out the axe, and then the head begins spinning. Now, of course, when you hold down the button, it will then add additional spins, so of course you can basically just like chainsaw your way through the enemy. This was always a really cool move. It even still had plenty of utility in Rise, but it was of course one of those moves that did potentially have a slightly slower ending lag animation. And of course, if you perform the A attacks, keep in mind this works with X and with A, the A attacks are the wider sweeping ones, and of course after the second A input you'll typically go into the SAD stance as if you're about to pull off a super amped element discharge. However, you can of course then roll out of that and just sort of keep going, but this is where ready stance comes in because you can then go from the second wide A spinning chainsaw attack, go into ready stance, hold A again, and you are right back at the beginning. This is infinitely faster than any other method for sort of rolling out or repositioning, and the nice thing is ready stance also allows you to reposition. So should the monster move or the head is suddenly in a different location, you can effectively do like 180s from this or just kind of completely change the way you're facing. So this is very nice. And again, given that of course ready stance recharges very, very quickly, if you time this correctly, and of course you're doing the double swipes each time, generally speaking, you should have a wire bug ready to go almost every time. I will say I had a few sort of hiccups here and there. It might just be my controller, but there were a few times where I was sort of holding down A and the move just dropped. It might have been that I just had slightly wrong button timing, or maybe the button on my controller is just a little bit dodgy. So sometimes it dropped, but as you can see, in these situations, when you do really get it going, especially if you're running this with an impact type charge blade and you of course have those KOs, this really is a nice... This really does give you some great damage opportunity and some great KO opportunity, because if you can then land these consistently on the monster's head, you will be doing some great work. So yeah, this honestly had a lot of fun with this one. I'll leave you guys with a few little gameplay clips, not necessarily a complete hunt, but I just ran around sort of testing this on a few different monsters. Yes, this is definitely one of those things that I do want some more practice with, because right now I do feel like the switch skill stuff, it is working really well, but it is still not necessarily second nature to me, much like when we first played Rise, and of course we ran around with the wire bug. Took a little while while for that to sort of start feeling natural, so the switch skill stuff still feels a little awkward to me, but once you do get the flow down, I can definitely see in the full game this being a really fun way to play. Anyway, that's it for the time being. I'll leave you guys with a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more.